Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coffee with Craig show. We'll be talking about commercial real estate in Central and Eastern Europe. Good Thursday morning, and welcome to this special edition of Coffee with Craig show. I'm here with Hubert Abt from New Work Office Services, and we have with him. So, Hubert, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Greg.
Hubert, you've come out with the third edition market report on Flex Office.
Yeah, time flies.
It seems like I remember the first year, it was sort of like, we think this is going to happen. The second year, it seemed like more and more pluses. And now post-COVID, it seems like all systems go. I mean, every report we read by developers or by agents, they all love it. All the developers are including it into their plans. It's going the way you said it was going to go.
Yeah, it's not always good if it goes the way I perceive it goes.
Correct. Yeah, you didn't say everything was going to be great, but
in this case, yes, we are happy that the prediction came to reality. Yeah, I mean, what changed? We have only a couple of minutes here. What changed? I guess the intro question 2019 when we started issuing the report was basically, is Flex here to stay?
It was, and some people were saying no chance. It was just it was coming and going.
They had good reasons to doubt it, by the way, right? Because really, it was what it was. And then, WeWork was exploding from 40 billion to something, and a lot of moving parts.
Sure.
And also, I mean, in the lockdown period then from 2020 spring, everything was uncertain, right? But if you're putting the pieces together, for us it was clear if something happens, it goes towards Flex. Why? Because the shared economy and digitization tries to demand, not so much this work from home and hybrid work discussion.
Right.
This is something completely different. It's also Flex work, but it's not Flex office, right?
Correct.
So we need to separate that. And now what changed from is Flex here to stay? Maybe in the second edition we published a report was which sort of Flex might be good. So is it more co-working, more corporate stuff, So which format of Flex? And today, the main question is, how much of percentage in my portfolio or real estate, my property, I need to satisfy the demand?
Right.
And this is the big game changer for the industry, because from there we went from 2, 3, 4% as of today in all the market CEE to 10, 15, 20% in a very short time from now. And that's the big thing.
Yeah, no, I remember some of the developers were like, yeah, we need 5%, almost like, here's a closet, right? And now what's happened, I know one of the big issues with the developers side was they were always saying, look, we can't put this in the business plan for the bank because the bank is not accepting it. Yeah. So has that changed at all over the last 3 years?
I mean, this is still true because it's not a bankable business as long as you're not listed on the stock exchange, maybe like IWG or now WeWork. But that's the only two I know of, right? But what changed, I guess, due to the fact that money was very cheap, a lot of landlords used the opportunity to issue bonds, own bonds, and getting rid of the obligations with the banks. And for now, they are much more flexible in managing their portfolio.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the old rule is still there. If you're asking a strong collateral from a flex operator, you almost never get it.
Right, okay. So still banking, and I'm sure I see you at Expo Real, so I'm sure you're there talking to some of the big players on the banking business, and they're still not interested, or is it kind of like, tell us more? How do you see that?
No, it changed completely different. The perception of Flex is clear because the client's demanding, and we know from several cases that big corporations which are already occupying as tenants the big properties, telling the landlords, listen, we want to have a flex operator here because their surplus demand, their office in the cloud demand, however you hybrid demand, whatever you call it, they need to have this overflow space flex managed, right? So and this is the need which appears, and I guess every operator, almost every asset manager from the big ones are considering how they can implement the flex operation in their portfolio.
Right, just because the clients the tenants are already asking for
exactly.
it.
I mean, what Steve Jobs said when he was asked why he comes up with a phone which is called iPhone, or the guy from Amazon, they say you need to think it backwards. You need to think it from the client experience and then develop the product towards the client experience, right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And I guess this is the change of perception which the landlord's getting little by little. Once the client asks, frequently you can't say no, or your neighbor makes the deal.
Right, yeah, of course. And if you need a floor of potential flex space, then the landlord's also got a little bit of give and take, right? Maybe they're not making rent on it immediately, but it looks like they're getting the rest of it rented. So what would you suggest now to maybe not developers but owners of, if they've got one building or a portfolio of buildings, what percentage now, or depending on the size of the building, what part should they, let's say, account for flex space?
I would start from the entrance, from the first impression, which you only have one chance for the first impression, as we say. Means you should create your entrance hall not as an entrance hall as it is from the last 25 years, with a security guy in place. You should create it as a marketplace. That's the first thing. So community drives, right? Additional services driven. And then from there, what we call 360-degree reception. So covering the services. Then you should make sure that you have a common space for conference and meeting, because people with the pandemic are not so comfortable to have third-party visitors in their office space anymore. Right?
Yeah, we've had that. We've gone to meet people. They said, look, meet us downstairs, like in, I think it was Spire. They've got little areas to meet. And we, great. We're not necessarily that interested in going up to all these buildings.
Once you foresee these two parts, service-based reception, marketplace, and the common meeting and conference areas managed by the reception for the entire building, then you can add on, call it a hot desk area, co-work area, or flex area, and that's basically 3 elements the entire business is consisting of today.
Right. And what I've seen more now, where kind of this co-working at the beginning of Corona basically disappeared. Now I see more and more people coming back and saying, hey, I want to be in this co-working area. Are you noticing that?
Yeah, I mean, the co-working is the sick child of the industry, because they are always undercapitalized, and we only have 30% of operators making profit today. 70% are either zero or minus.
Because not enough people
Not enough people. And this office in the cloud with the mobile application pay-as-you-go is not very well deployed yet. In 2 years from now, will be completely different, right? So it takes the time for the co-working industry to come back and change their format a little bit. But you need a little bit part of co-working in each flex thing. I would say 10-20% is co-working. Then you have 10-20% for SMEs, more small and mid-sized client. And then you have the 60% for the corporates, something like that.
Right. Okay, so that's kind of what you're looking at in new operations, is a bit of co-working, but mainly their own offices and their own
And there's demand for corporate clients, clearly. And then digitization is a big thing. Together with ESG, that are the main 2 drivers which changing the industry upside down in the future.
I'm glad you mentioned ESG. I know we'll be talking about it next month and, for the next few years. But if you look at owners, let's say as a percentage, who's really, let's say, into or really put into place this ESG from how you would see it, to ones that are not yet there yet, or have a long way? What percentage would you say are people really doing it on the office side?
Well, I only can reply one experience we had in Property Forum in Vienna in October. And the guy asked who is concerned about climate change and so on and so forth for the families, and all hands are up. And then he asked who thinks that he's doing already something meaningful to go ahead. And it was 2 hands from 250 people.
Right. Okay. So let's say we're at the beginning.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Hey, anyway, I see that we're at 9 minutes now, so we'll wrap it up. Give us any kind of last-minute pearls of wisdom on this, or angle that you think that we missed that we want to get out to our viewers.
Yeah, well, it's a closing statement here. Comes from Nelson Mandela. It always seems impossible until it's done. So
it always seems impossible till it's done. Exactly. Well, I can relate to that in many situations. So, yes, let's end with that statement. Hubert, great to see you, and I know you're on a working business trip to South Africa. So enjoy your trip there. Be healthy, be safe, and we'll see you February 24th, we will do a Coffee with Live show at the Intercontinental Hotel on ESG.
ESG and digitization, yes.
Exactly. Okay. And thank you all for watching our show, and stay safe and healthy.
Thank you. Take care.
Click here to subscribe to the Coffee with Craig show, and don't forget to share it with your friends.